Imagine the velvet-voiced legend Tony Bennett, adored by millions for his warmth and generosity, harboring a secret loathing so intense it shadowed his final days. The notion seems unthinkable. The man who crooned "I Left My Heart in San Francisco" and collaborated with Frank Sinatra and Lady Gaga turning venomous toward a fellow singer. Yet the headline promised a hidden feud, a bitter grudge that would shatter everything we believed about his gracious smile. What dark twist lay concealed behind Bennett's celebrated career? Born Anthony Dominic Benedetto on August 3, 1926, in a cramped Queens tenement, Tony's earliest memories were of coal-heated rooms and empty stomachs. His Italian immigrant parents scraped together every penny. In 1936, when Tony was just 10, tragedy struck. His father died of a heart condition, leaving his mother to support 3 children alone. Tony watched his mother labor as a seamstress in a sweatshop and learned humility in soup line queues. Yet that same year, he stunned New Yorkers by singing at the Triborough Bridge opening before Mayor Fiorello LaGuardia, proof that his voice offered a way out of hardship. By age 13, Tony was a singing waiter in local Italian restaurants, slipping from apron to microphone between orders of pasta and pizza. Those noisy Queens clubs became his first classroom. He observed every reaction, learned to pace a set, and discovered how to make every listener feel seen. Money was always tight at home, so every nickel he earned mattered. He later credited those unglamorous nights with forging his conversational style and unshakable work ethic. When World War II drew him into the 63rd Infantry Division at 18, Bennett traded club lights for foxholes in France and Germany. He witnessed the horrors of the Battle of the Bulge: freezing nights, comrades lost, villages in ruins. Yet even amid the chaos, he found solace singing with military bands. Those moments of music in the mud and fear transformed him into a lifelong advocate for peace, and instilled in him a belief that song could heal even the deepest wounds. After the war, the GI Bill sent Tony to the American Theater Wing School in Manhattan, where vocal coach Mimi Spear urged him to learn from instrumentalists rather than mimic other singers. Inspired by jazz greats like Art Tatum, Tony honed a style rich in phrasing and emotional nuance. Returning to Greenwich Village's smoky clubs, now performing under the name Joe Barry, he spent nights refining his craft, night after night, hoping for that one break that would launch him beyond the village bars. That break arrived when Pearl Bailey, already a star, walked into his set and halted mid-song. She invited him on stage to open her show and introduced him to her powerful circle. Soon after, Bob Hope slipped quietly into a nightclub performance, heard Tony pour his heart into each note, and declared, "You have something special." Hope booked him at the Paramount Theater in New York and insisted he drop Joe Barry for something snappier, Tony Bennett. With that new name emblazoned on marquees, the world began to notice. In 1950, Bennett signed with Columbia Records under producer Mitch Miller. His heartfelt delivery and meticulous attention to lyrics made "Because of You" a 10-week #1 smash, selling over 1 million copies. Later that year, a soulful country cover, "Cold, Cold Heart," held the top spot for 6 weeks, earning praise from Hank Williams himself. By 1953, "Rags to Riches" became an anthem of the American dream, staying #1 for 8 weeks and cementing Bennett's place in homes and on airwaves across the nation. Though pop ballads had made him a household name, Tony quietly pursued jazz collaborations that risked his commercial standing. He recorded with Count Basie, Stan Getz, and Art Blakey's Jazz Messengers, sessions that captured live energy with minimal overdubs. Albums like The Beat of My Heart featured drumming legends and showcased Bennett improvising alongside them. Critics initially balked, but peers like Frank Sinatra later admitted they learned to swing by watching Tony reinvent how a singer could become an integral part of a jazz ensemble. On January 23, 1962, a laryngitis-raspy Bennett entered Columbia's famed 30th Street studio to record "I Left My Heart in San Francisco." Struggling to speak, he needed the key lowered twice, yet in 2 takes delivered a performance of rare emotional depth. The single peaked at 19 on the Billboard Hot 100 but lingered for 36 weeks, won 2 Grammys, and became San Francisco's unofficial anthem. It was the song most fans requested for decades, proof that vulnerability, even when your voice falters, can resonate most powerfully. The mid-1960s brought seismic shifts in popular music. When the Beatles arrived, Columbia pressured Bennett to record rock covers. In 1970s, Tony sings the great hits of today. He warily tackled Beatles songs beneath a psychedelic album cover that clashed with his image. The record flopped, alienating his core audience and leaving him stranded between eras. Around that time, his 17-year marriage to Patricia Beach crumbled under constant touring, culminating in divorce amid rumors of an affair with actress Sandra Grant. In 1972, Bennett left Columbia after refusing further rock demands. He launched his own improv label in 1975, producing 5 albums, including 2 with pianist Bill Evans, but distribution woes and money troubles led to improv's collapse in 1977. With no recording contract, mounting IRS debts, and lifestyle costs far exceeding his shrinking income, Tony spiraled. The death of his mother that Thanksgiving pushed him into a deep depression, and cocaine became his escape, nearly costing him his life. In late 1979, Tony overdosed in a bathtub, unconscious as water overflowed around him until Sandra Grant revived him with chest compressions. He later described seeing a golden light, a divine intervention that spurred him to quit drugs immediately. Waking determined to reclaim his life, he reached out to his sons Danny and Day, admitting he felt lost and unwanted. Though they'd once formed a failed rock band, Danny's sharp business sense and Tony's undiminished talent would combine to stage one of entertainment's most remarkable comebacks. Under Danny's direction, Bennett shed the Las Vegas lounge image and booked intimate performances at colleges and small theaters, connecting with younger audiences raised on rock and pop. In 1986, Columbia welcomed him back with full creative control, releasing The Art of Excellence, the first charting album since 1972. By 1990, Danny had negotiated collaborations with unexpected partners, from the Red Hot Chili Peppers to jazz pianist Bill Evans, and had paid off the IRS debt. Tony's comeback proved that authenticity and perseverance can defy industry trends. In 1994, at 68, Bennett took the MTV Unplugged stage, a show known for grunge and alternative acts. Without a microphone, he sang live over a jazz ensemble, delivering a performance that became MTV's second highest-rated episode. The subsequent live album went platinum, sold over 1 million copies, and won the Grammy for Album of the Year, only the fourth live album ever to do so. His duets with K.D. Lang and Elvis Costello revealed that artistry transcends age and genre. The duet series that began in 2006 extended his renaissance. Recording in person with icons like Paul McCartney, Elton John, Stevie Wonder and Lady Gaga, Bennett achieved #1 albums in his 80s and 90s. Cheek to Cheek with Lady Gaga in 2014 topped the Billboard 200, and Love for Sale, released when he was 95, made him the oldest artist ever to debut in the top 10. His collaborative spirit and willingness to embrace new generations reaffirmed that musical standards can thrive in any era. Away from the spotlight, Tony and his wife Susan Crowe, 40 years his junior, founded the Frank Sinatra School of the Arts in Astoria, Queens, in 2001. The school, complete with a 750-seat concert hall and studios, embodied Bennett's conviction that arts education can transform lives. It became his living legacy, ensuring that future artists from diverse backgrounds would receive the training and inspiration he had once sought. Privately diagnosed with Alzheimer's in 2016, Bennett astonished doctors by continuing to perform flawless, 90-minute concerts. His procedural musical memory remained intact even as everyday recall faded. When Love for Sale was released in October 2021, critics and fans alike marveled at his commanding presence and emotional depth at age 95. 2 weeks before his 97th birthday, on July 21, 2023, Tony Bennett passed away peacefully, leaving behind more than 70 albums, 50 million records sold, and 19 competitive Grammy wins. Through every trial, poverty, war, addiction, and illness, Tony Bennett never once harbored a secret, lifelong hatred for another singer. The sensational promise of a hidden feud disappears under scrutiny. There is simply no evidence in the transcript or any reputable account that he ever carried such animus. Instead, what emerges is a portrait of a man whose heart, above all else, remained devoted to music, compassion, and collaboration, even to the end.